Hey everybody, Alex here, and today I'm going to show you how you can configure your event bus module using Redis for your Medusa v2 instance. This is a requirement if you want to go to production with your project. It's not recommended to use the local event bus module, and if you don't know what it is, it essentially manages your queue and your worker, or your Medusa instance queue and worker, and it's also really necessary in order to trigger subscription notifications, and using the notification module provider. Everything kind of just like works together, so you need to make sure that this is configured properly, and I'm going to show you how to do precisely that. So if we go to our Medusa v2 docs, which is what I use for all of my videos, I suggest you have it open. The first thing that we have to do is install the event bus module, the preview version. So as of today, August 11, 2024, the preview version, if we go here, is the 1.8.14. So that's exactly what I'm going to install. Let's go real quick to here and copy it. We're going to go to the Medusa instance that we created in the previous video, and we're just going to paste it. npm install that. Hit enter and just give it a quick second while it in fact installs. All right, it's finished installing, and the way that we can verify that it is successfully installed is by going to our package.json file and making sure that we see event bus Redis, which we do. So the next thing that we have to do is we have to go to our Medusa config file, and we have to import the modules that we are going to be using in our project. So going back to the documentation, make sure that you copy this import and paste it here. Then the next thing that we need to do is we need to extend the modules. So let's add it right here, modules, and we can just copy this section right here. So let's make sure that it's there. Let's get rid of all these empty spaces. All right, so now we need to make sure, as you can see here, we need to make sure that we have an environmental variable called event Redis URL, which is exactly what I'm going to add right now. And the way that we're going to do this, I already showed you in the previous video that I'm using Railway to essentially manage my entire deployments of my databases. So I'm just gonna right click, go to database, add Redis, and just give it a second while it creates. It's successfully finished deploying, so I'm gonna go to my Redis service, gonna go to variables and make sure that I copy the Redis public URL. And then I'm gonna go to my process.env, or my env file, and I'm gonna add exactly events Redis URL. I'm not gonna show you my env, so just give me one quick second. All right, I successfully added it, and now there's one more thing that you need to do. By default, your Medusa config file does not contain this Redis URL section right here. So you need to make sure that under database URL, you add Redis URL and reference your process.env Redis, I think it's events Redis URL, comma, and just like that, you're not going to get an error that says that it's connected to the local event bus. So we finally completed this setup. Now what we need to do is we need to add a subscriber that's going to be listening for whenever a product is created. That way we can test that the notifications are actually being triggered. So the way that we do that is by going to the event data payload section of the documentation. And it says that we need to create a product created.ts file under subscribers. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go to source, subscribers, and say product created.ts. And let's just copy everything that's in here, hit save. And by default, we should see this notification right here in our terminal whenever we create a product. You can personalize it. You can essentially set up the logic however that you want, but that's not what this video is about. We're just gonna make sure that in fact is working. So now what we do is we save it, and we're gonna do npm run dev and give it, I don't know, maybe like 5 or 10 seconds while it loads. All right, now I just want to bring your attention to this real quick. You can see right here, if everything was done correctly, that you're going to see a message that says connection to Redis and module event bus Redis established. If you don't see that message, it wasn't configured properly, so make sure that you do see it. And now we're going to go to our localhost 9000/app. It's not just 9000, it's 9000/app. Give it a moment while it loads, and let's quickly log in. And now let's test that the message is being logged to our terminal whenever a product is created. So we're going to go to products. We're going to go to create. There you go. And we're going to call this test product. We're going to go, I'm going to move this up here to continue, and publish. And everything should work properly. The product was created. And now if we go to our terminal, we should just search for the product. Product ID was created. So let's just say was created. And right here is where we can see it. The product ID was created. So there you go. That's how you configure your event bus module using Redis.